Hi, today we're going to talk about clips, tracks, sections, using section mode and song mode to output a wave. This is going to be a quick overview of these topics, and we're going to go into more detail in each of them later on. But the goal of this video is to get us from working in sequencer, the sequencer workflow, to the song workflow, and then outputting our song as a wave. Goal for today. All right, so when we start in the sequencer part of the workflow, and in note mode, this is where we put in all of our music, all of our notes, all of the instruments go together. There are vocal takes in the song mode we'll talk about in a different video. But for the most part, this is where all of your music comes from. And when you're looking here at one of your tracks, you have 7 instrument tracks, right? They're labeled kick, drum, snare, instrument 1, 2, etc. You can make each of these a tone track, a kit track, or these two a looper track. But you can make them whatever you want, right? You can make them any of those types. However, when you are working, say you're in a kit track, right? And you just put down a quick drum beat. Let's adjust the tempo so it's not so slow. I need to change the default on that. Anyway, so say we just put down a quick little drum thing, right? That's just very, very basic 4 to the floor kind of thing. Right? It's just a measure now. You can obviously make it more measures if you want. But this right here, this track, the kit track with all of the step sequence and the instrument that's on it, that's called a clip. And that's the smallest portion of what we can work with on the Verselab, the smallest building block. If we go to a different track like this one, say we put in some kind of melody. Right? Now we got something, we got a little melody. This instrument 1 with this sound, the AX org bell, and this sequence of notes. Again, that is a clip. It's its own thing. You can save clips, you can recall clips. In a tone track, the clip is going to be the instrument, or if you've used a WAV file to play chromatically, for instance, we'll go into instrument 2, we'll load a WAV file, and we'll show you exactly that. So you can load a WAV file. We'll just go to one on mine here, L3 Microfreak. We'll just find a quick, there we go, brassy sound. We load up this brassy sound on instrument 2. It is a tone track, but it's playing that one WAV file, that one sample chromatically. So as you play up the scale, it just makes it go faster or slower. Yes, great. Anyway, so all of this and this track is a clip. It saves the instrument, the WAV file that we put in there. It'll save the sequence. Again, if we just start recording. That is out of key. I'm going to have to check that later. Anyway, so it will save this WAV file. It'll save this sequence data. It'll save settings you've made to that clip. It'll save how many measures it is. That's the clip. It's one specific instrument and just this one portion of that. Same thing with instrument 1. It's just saving what we recorded on the step sequencer and the instrument. It's going to save AX org bell. In a kit track, it saves all 16 of the pads. So it saves the kit. It'll save all of the instruments in the kit. It'll save the step sequencer for all of the pads separately. And that will be the clip that you save. So these clips all are the smallest portion. Now, the next thing to talk about are tracks. A track is one of these things. Kick, snare, hi-hat, kit, right? So if you go to instrument 2, a track is this clip, but it's also 15 other clips. That sounds a little confusing. Let's talk about what a section is. A section is all 7 of these instrument tracks together. So right now we have something on the kit track, something on instrument 1, something on instrument 2. It sounds like this. That's a section. Sections are the building blocks of your song. So you can make one section that's, an intro, then a verse, then a chorus, then an outro. And you could play, intro, verse, chorus, outro, right? Or you could make separate sections. You have 16 of these. You could make, intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, outro, right? You can make separate verses, separate choruses. You can make up to 16 of these separate things, but a section contains all 7 of these instrument tracks, even if they're blank. So right now, we don't have anything on kick. We have nothing on snare, nothing on hi-hat, nothing on bass. So if we have this section, the section is going to be playing all 7 tracks, but we're only going to hear from these 3. So how do we use these sections, right? If you're in the sequencer part of the workflow, note is where we enter everything in, right? That's where we play all of our instruments. Section select, this is where we tell it which section we're working on. And this is section 1, this is the default, 2, 3, 4, up to 16, right? Each of these is a different section. When you're in sequencer workflow, in section select, this is only going to play the clip. So watch, if we push this is section 1, but it's only the clip on instrument 1. So just that one instrument, right? If we go to instrument 2, it's just playing that instrument. Kit track is just playing the kit. Playing the entire kit because the kit is a clip, right? So we can now go to a different section, go to section 2, there's nothing in it. If we push play, there's nothing. And notice it's got this yellow square. The yellow square tells you when it's not selected. It tells you there's something in that clip. So if we go back now to instrument, the kit track, and we go to note, let's just do something a little different. All right. So now we just have this weird kick. That's it. And in here, we're going to put something random again. Great. All right. If we go back to section select now, if we look, let's go off of the section we're in. We're in section 2. That's the flashing green light. Let's go off of the section we're in. We notice that in the instrument 1, there is something in clip section 1 and section 2. There's a clip in each of those. Right? But there's nothing in anywhere else. If we go to instrument 2, there's nothing on section 2. We didn't put anything there. But there is in the kit track, there's 1 and 2, and it's different. Listen. See, they are different. Also, when you're talking about clips, you can have different instruments from section to section because each clip is its own thing. So for instance, right, we have different things playing, but it's the same sound. What if we go to clip 2 of instrument 1, that's this, and what if we just change the sound? So we go back to note mode, we can push the value knob. Let's go to preset. We're just going to select something weird. What does this sound like? Great, that is perfect. We loaded that on. So here's what it sounds like now. Now notice if we go into the section select, right? There's this sound on this this clip, but on the other clip, on the clip in section 1, it's still the bell sound. So if we play the entire section, let's play section 1, we select section 1, push play, it'll play everything now instead of just this clip. Now if we go to section 2, it's going to play all of this. Completely different sound. That's the great thing about these clips. Each clip can have a different sound or preset. There is a caveat. Now that's when we need to talk about tracks. So let's go back to note mode here. So these tracks, each one of these is a track, right? The kit is a track, snare is a track. Again, you can make it be a tone or a kit. You can make the instrument 1 and 2 be looper tracks. But with tracks, the track has to remain the same type of track for the entire song. So every section is going to be the same type of track. If you have a kit track on, say, the kit, you can have tone if you wanted to, but if you got a kit track, it has to be a kit track for every single section. Every clip on this track has to be a kit track. If you have it as a tone track, every clip has to be a tone track. They can be a different preset, different sounds on each one, but it has to be the same type of track. Same thing for instrument 1 and 2. If you have a looper track in those, it has to be a looper for all 16 sections. Okay? Kind of understand that? There are also different settings for clips and for tracks. For instance, if you hit Shift and hit a track, notice it says track. These are the settings for the track. If you set this level here, this volume, it's going to be the volume for every clip. So check it out. If we have, so here's clip 1, right? We're moving the track level down to 38. If we go to clip 2, it's still 38. This is for the entire track. For every clip in every section, that's the volume on this track, on track instrument 1. If instead we go back to note mode, if we go to, go to section select, if we edit and then hit it, we're in note, section select, so we're selecting the section, the clip, and the section. So if we select section 1, edit section 1, and we go to clip settings, this is just for the specific clip. So if we bring that mix level in this one, right? Now if we go to clip 2, so section 2 of this track, instrument 1, notice the mix level is different. It changes because you can have a level for each track individually and separately. But if you go to, again, the shift and then the track, you have track settings. This is for the entire track. So now, again, that's affecting the entire track. But edit, and then the clip, the section, clip settings, that's just for that specific clip, okay? So again, we're going to talk about clip settings and track settings later on and how they work. But for now, just realize tracks and clips are different. A track is for every single clip that's on that track. Clip settings are just for one specific clip. All right, so now what do you do now? So say now you've got these two different, these two sections you've made, right? You have section 1 that sounds like this. Again, weird, that horn, I've got to fix that horn. But then you have section 2 that sounds like this, right? So how do you use these now? How do you turn these into a song? You can have up to 16 of these. Again, you can have intros, several choruses, verses, outros, drops, build-ups. So now, this is the next part we need to talk about, section mode. We've been working in the sequencer, creating everything. That's where we create all of our clips. That's how we create the music. In section mode, we take each of these blocks, each of these sections. Again, a section is going to be all 7 tracks together. And here's section 1. Here's section 2. Okay, so we've made these sections. We can make up to 16, put them in any order we want. We can copy paste. We'll talk about those things later. But now we go to section mode. The entire purpose of section mode is to set how long these sections are. So for instance, if we select section 1, and by the way, you can change these colors if you want. Hit edit and hit the pad. So this is section 1, edit section 1. You can change the color of the pad to be whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be the default, right? You can make it whatever you want. Anyway, so you hit the pad. We're now selecting section 1. It says section 1. You can rename these and stuff. We'll talk about that in a later video. But right now, what it's showing down here, this is section 1. This is showing how many measures you want that to play for. And they are actual measures, not these pages. Remember, you could have multiple measures in a page or less than one measure in a page here. But this is actual 4 beats. Each one of these is 4 beats. You need to have your sections be 4 beats long. That is imperative to the way the Verselab works. Fight me on this, we'll discuss it. Anyway, so each one of these is 4 beats. We only have one measure. We only have 4 beats anyway. That's as much as we've created. So if we just push 1, it's going to play that over and over. Right? It's just going to play it 1 time. This section now is 1 measure long. But say you want that to repeat 4 times. Boom, 4 measures. It flashes when it's playing that measure. Let's just for fun, let's go back and create a second measure on this, okay? We're going to go to sequencer mode again, hit note. So here's this, right? It's this bell sound. Let's add another measure to this bell sound. So we're going to make it 32 steps. Okay, so now I have another measure here, and we're just going to put some random stuff in here too. We're just going to make it do this, just these octaves. Oops, did it on the first measure too. That was unfortunate. Let's undo that real quick. I do that all the time. That's not the right one, is it? I do this, I mix that up all the time. No. There we go. There, it's exit and measure back. Anyway. All right, so for this second measure, let's actually take out this horn sound. So we're gonna make this 32 steps as well. And the second measure is just blank, right? There's no horn. But on instrument 1, we're going to make the second measure just be this kind of thing, okay? Here we go. It's going to play the first measure first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have this in this section. Section 1, we have this. Here's the first measure, here comes the second measure. Right? The second measure is a lot more sparse. So now if we go to section mode, notice if we just hit 1, it's going to play the first measure. That's it. It's just one measure. If we hit 2, now we have 2 measures of this. So it's going to play both. If we do 3, it's going to go back and play the first one again. If we have 4, this plays the entire thing twice. So here it goes. This is 4 measures. It's going to play each of the 2 measures twice. Okay, so say that's what we want. We want 4 bars of that crazy thing. Now for section 2, we can set it separately. How many measures do we want this to be? How about just 1? 1 measure. Notice up here too, it tells you how many measures you've selected. Each of these is 1 measure. You can do up to 16 measures. Again, you want to work in 4s, but anyway, so that's what we have now. The first section is purple, second section is orange. That's pretty much all you can do in section mode here. So now we take these sections we've made, we've specified section 1 is 4 measures, section 2 is 1 measure, and we can name these and stuff, we'll talk about that later. Now we can go to song mode. This is where the magic of the Verselab is. Song mode, it starts in the note mode, or song workflow. You hit section select, again, to go to the sections. You can put in empty sections here. If you just wanted to put in an empty, there's nothing in this section, right? You're previewing it, there's nothing. You can add empty sections if you want to just record on the vocal track. For instance, we will talk about that later. But for now, we're going to just add in these sections. So let's start with this one and then go here and then go back to this one. So we're going to start here like this is an intro, right? So here's how we set up how to record on the Verselab in song mode. You're in section select on song mode. You hit record. Now the first step here is flashing. This is asking, hey, which section do you want? See, it says select pad. Which section do you want to start? Let's start with this, kind of as an intro, right? And then let's go to the next one and say, okay, now we're going to do this. This is 4 bars. This is 1 bar. Then we go back to this as like a, whoops. Then go back to this one as like an outro, right? There we go. We hit record again. It's done. Now this is, whoops, we didn't record that. Sorry. We're here. There we go. Okay. You can also do multiple. If you want to do multiple of these, right? You can have several of these in a row. You can put them in any order you want. So for now, if we play this, let's actually clear these just so we have just this pattern. Now watch up here. We'll hit the pad we want to start on. See, so this is showing us a bar and a beat. So this is always going to count to 4 over here. It's always going to count 4 beats no matter what. So right now we have 4 bars here, 1 bar here, 1 bar here. So 4, 5, 6. We should have 6 bars. So watch this as it plays. Now it's playing this one. Here's the 6th bar. And in song mode, when it finishes, it just stops. That's the end of the song. Fantastic. Also, it should be noted, you can have more than these 16 sections. You only have 16 sections to work with, but in song mode, you can do more. So if we go back to recording mode, and then we just add a bunch of these steps in here, right? Say we just fill this out. Once you've filled up an entire page of these little building blocks, these sections of your song, this is flashing now. You can go to another page and you can do 16 more. You can have up to 99 pages of these blocks. All right, so let's go back to the first page. We're just going to clear all of these out. You can hold down clear and push a step and it'll just move everything back. You can't have gaps here. If you wanted like silence, you could put an empty selection there. Boom, that's an empty selection, right? Now there would be nothing playing there. But if we look, that's number 15. In section mode, 15 is 8 bars. That's going to be 8 bars of nothing. You could move down to 1 bar if you wanted a bar of silence or something, right? Anyway, so back to song mode. Here's our song. There's something else you can look at too. If you are in the song section of your workflow and section select, if you push down the value knob, right now it's showing bars and beats. If you push down the value knob, it shows time. This is showing the time in your song. and I just hit the last step to get to the last step, we can scroll and we can see that the entire song is going to be 14 seconds long, right? This is minutes, seconds, I don't know, subsections. Anyway, that is our song. So now we've got the building blocks. We've learned to take our clips in sequence mode and our sections and turn them into building blocks. Now we've set our building blocks in an order. Notice it's not in the same order it is down here. We've set an order to play down here. Now, how do we record that? This is the last step to getting your song out to the world. You hit the mix down button. Notice it's right by WAV here at the end. You hit mix down, and notice the first option is full mix. That's going to play everything coming out of this. It's going to play it back in real time. Also of note, while this is recording, if you say hit note in song mode and start playing, it's going to record what you play as well. So watch this, watch. It'll record everything that comes out of the device. So if you're playing in real time, it's going to record that. If you have a mic connected and you have the mic on, it's going to record that as well in real time. Just keep that in mind. That can be useful, but if you don't realize it's going on, if you leave your mic on or something, that can cause problems. Anyway, so your options here are full mix, and if you hit value, it's just going to record everything to your SD card in the mixdown folder. The next option is instruments. That's just your 7 instrument tracks from kick to instrument 2. It won't record your vocal track, in other words. This one is vocal only, so it just records the vocal track, which we haven't talked about yet. We'll talk about vocal takes in another video. And finally is preview. After you've recorded something, like we just recorded that random thing where I was playing something, this, if you push the value knob, will just play back what you just recorded. See, ta-da! That's it. Now you can create your pieces in note mode. You can create your clips in note mode. You can arrange your sections by how long you want them to be in section mode. And then you can take these sections and you can put them down on your song mode and record them. That's it. Next time we'll be talking about more things. There's a lot of stuff to come. If you have questions, if I haven't explained something, if I've missed something, if I've said something wrong, let me know. I'm Leroy. I hope you enjoy this device, and I hope that you are continuing to learn and grow and create things that you enjoy. Have a great day. Bye.